Okay, hi everyone. Here, Tommy Walker, the Mind Engineer, again with another episode of Rapid Subconscious Reprogramming. Yes, and today I want to talk about dealing with anxiety. And as I mentioned here in the cover, in a much more loving and effective way. I know there's a lot of information out there how to deal with anxiety, where it comes from, how it's created, and how to deal with it. I want to try to bring another perspective on this and how to deal with it in a different way that I think is going to be much more empowering, much more loving, and being able to really reduce those levels of anxiety and even get rid of it, but from a different perspective. And that's what I want to share with you guys today. So thank you very much for being here. If you're watching on social media, if you want to add hashtag live, that would be great. So I know that you're there, or hashtag replay if you're watching replay. So thank you very much again for being here. So let's get diving deep into this. As I always mention, yes, we need to understand that whatever we're feeling, and let me change here, let's change like this so you can see me. Whatever we're feeling, we need to understand that it's always a byproduct of something deeper. And I know it sounds weird, but it's like we need to understand that behavior, the anxiety could be falling into behavior. Behind the anxiety, we have emotions. So we have behavior, emotions, beliefs, right? So that's kind of how everything is created. Behaviors, emotions, beliefs. So beliefs create emotions, emotions create behaviors, habits, behaviors, actions, different things that we start doing, right? And it could be in different ways, right? In this case, maybe behavior could be move away from people that are quote unquote making us feel anxiety. And in that sense, what we're doing, and I just said it, and maybe you didn't realize, guys, is that when I say I'm moving away from these guys that are making me feel anxious, I'm giving my power away. First of all, I need to understand that the anxiety comes from within. Yes, of course, the situation might not help, but the truth is I am making myself feel anxious. This is very important to become 100% responsible of our own feelings and emotions. A lot of people tend to put it on the outside, as I was saying. These people are making me feel, my partner makes me feel, my parents make me feel, and we tend to push it to other people instead of really becoming, in a way, responsible for what's going on. So the first thing to realize is that, okay, again, behavior, in this case, how I'm feeling, is something, we're going to go there, and it's creating the anxiety. So beneath the anxiety, there could be uneasiness. There could be fear about something. So I feel the anxiety that comes from my emotions, and the emotions are the byproduct of my belief system. And I'm going to give you a story so that you understand. Imagine that you have you're with a friend, and suddenly a dog, let's put a German Shepherd, comes towards you, right? And suddenly your friend starts getting anxious, starts getting very uneasy, starts getting very scared, and suddenly this person runs away from the German Shepherd, the dog, right? So you look at that situation, you're like, hey, what's going on with this guy? And what happens is that you might be looking at this situation in one way while your friend is looking another way. And let me explain to you this as an example, right? Imagine that when your friend was a kid, he was beaten, yes, by a German Shepherd. So now he has in his subconscious mind, maybe he's conscious, maybe not, but in his mind, he has a memory, a very negative memory around that type of dogs. So when that dog got close to him, the survival mechanism, fight or flight mechanism kicked in because he had a memory, a perception around those dogs. And maybe in your case, maybe you love German Shepherds. And when that German Shepherd came your way, you started feeling so much love, so much caring for that dog. Or maybe you started feeling sad because maybe you had that dog and it passed away and you felt the sadness of that dog. So we need to understand that whatever we're going through is just a repetition of something that happened in our past. and now we're bringing up into the surface. So if we're dealing with anxiety, we need to understand that there is something that is going on inside of us. It doesn't really matter what's going on in the outside. What really matters is what's going on the inside. Does that make sense so far, guys? Type a yes in the chat if this is making some sense as I'm moving forward. It's important to understand these basic things. So how this person reacted to this dog, this person, I got very anxious around the dog. It had nothing to do with the dog in itself, because that same dog didn't give you anxiety. So if I say that this dog gives me anxiety, if it's the problem, the dog, is it really the dog? No, it is me that I'm feeling anxious around that dog. You see now how I regain my power? This is very important because we got to stop giving our power away. We tend to blame everybody else, people and circumstances, for what we're feeling, what we're going through, and we're not really owning it. We are in power. So it's not the dog that is making me feel anxious. I am making myself feel anxious around this dog. I regain my power. I don't feel anxious around my parents. Sorry, my parents don't make me feel anxious. I feel anxious around my parents. I start owning it. The second thing that I got to do is I got to accept and embrace what I'm feeling. Yes, I have to accept and embrace, not fight, embrace. Because let me ask you this. Have you had a friend that comes over to you and they say that they're feeling anxious, and you start telling them not to feel like that they shouldn't feel like this, that they should see the positive things in their life? Do you think that your friend is going to feel understood, is going to feel accepted for what that person is going through? Is going to feel understood? Type a yes or a no in the chat. Thank you, Mary. Perfect. Thank you, Colina. I see that you're there watching too. So my friend is not going to feel loved. It's not going to feel understood. It's not going to feel accepted, supported. So instead of denying that I'm feeling anxiety, what we need to do is say, okay, write this down, guys. I have valid reasons to feel like I do. Remember, the guy that was beaten by a dog, and now see that's that dog, and they get very scared. Don't they have valid reasons to feel like they do? Type a yes or a no. Sorry, I have something in my throat. Does that person have valid reason to feel scared around a German Shepherd? Yes or no? Type in the chat. Does that person have valid reasons? Yes, they do. They have valid reasons to feel anxiety around that dog. The problem is if they give the power to the dog, because now I'm not in control of my life. And most people, listen to this, guys. Most people are working their ass off to try to be in control in their life, but they don't realize in these things that they're giving away their power. So it's not the dog that made me feel anxiety, is I am making myself feel anxious because of the memory that I have around a situation that happened in my childhood that hasn't been resolved. Let me add that to this. So I have valid reasons to feel anxiety around my boss, around my partner, around this friend of mine, or whoever. If I'm going through a difficult situation, it's okay to feel anxiety. You know, they're doing lays off in my company, right? They're laying off people. So I get anxious. It's okay. First of all, I have valid reasons to feel like I do. So the first question to ask, first validate. The first question is to ask, okay, I feel anxious. What else do I feel? I feel scared. I feel uneasy. I feel sadness. How do I feel? This is what I've been teaching all along with Rapid Subconscious Reprogramming. I'm going to go much deeper. Remember, in the free 2-day challenge that we're going to be doing. Okay. But how do I feel? I feel scared. Scared of what? That another dog might bite me. Okay. There you go. That I can get late at work. And what could happen if I get late? I'm not going to be able to provide my family. And what happens if I cannot provide my family? So look how I'm trying to go deeper. But listen, I get a lot of people that tell me, but Tommy, each time I ask the questions that you recommend like these, that I've seen some videos, trainings, or working with you, each time I do the same thing, I get stuck and the mind just doesn't reveal anything. Many times, the mind doesn't reveal anything because I'm coming from a judgmental point of view. So I start with the point of, oh, I shouldn't feel anxiety. Okay, why am I feeling anxiety? But I'm already coming from a negative intention. That's why I said, and it sounds weird, but I recommend seriously, hold yourself, right hand, left shoulder, left hand, right shoulder, hug yourself, say, I have valid reasons, and mean it. I have valid reasons to feel like I do. Why am I feeling like this? I'm feeling scared. Why am I feeling scared? I'm scared of losing my job. What happens if you lose your job? I cannot provide my family. You cannot provide your family, right? An example that I have worked with people like this. I'm scared that my wife is going to walk away, that my partner is going to walk away if I cannot provide. Okay, so you're scared of being left alone, right? Being abandoned if you're not able to provide your family. That is the story you're telling yourself. Once you're able to start finding the story you're telling yourself, now, as we regain the power, we can start dealing with that. Where did you learn? What is the proof, quote unquote, right? But again, with a loving point of view, open mind, open heart, not from judging. How do you know that she's going to walk away if you cannot provide the family? What makes you think that? And you might say, I don't know. But maybe if you look back at childhood, what could have happened? Look at this. It could be many examples. I'm going to give a couple, right? Maybe mom and dad divorced, right? Maybe your dad was fired, lost their job maybe a couple of times, or something happened and your mom walked away, or your dad walked away, or they tend to walk away from you when you made mistakes. Maybe they didn't speak to you whenever you did something that they didn't want you to do. Something happened during childhood that started creating this. If I don't perform, if I don't do this, people are going to abandon me. We start creating that story, that belief. That belief brings fear of abandonment. And the fear of abandonment is going to create, of course, anxiety, stress, or any other thing that you want to talk about, right? Overthinking. To other people, it could be perfectionism. If I'm perfect, nobody's going to walk away. And we start creating behaviors. Okay, they're not just anxiety, but maybe, being a people pleaser so that you don't get fired. You suck it up to your boss because you don't want to get fired, because you don't want to feel all this, cascade of things that we were talking about before. So the first thing to deal with anxiety is to embrace it and accept it. I need to love the part of me that is feeling anxious, as if there were an adult taking care of a little kid. How would you feel if suddenly you get laid off work and you get home and your wife's saying, hey, I found out you got laid off. It's okay. I don't know what we're going to do, but I got your back. How would you feel? Less or more anxiety? Write it down over there. Less or more anxiety if your partner had your back 100%. Type it on the chat. Would you feel less or more anxious if your partner had your back? Normally, the answer that most people are going to say is they're going to feel less anxiety. Why? Because you have somebody, holding your back, taking care of you. So what if you become that person where you're like, hey, yeah, maybe, right? I can get laid off. Maybe my wife will walk away, but I got your back. Yes, you tell yourself, hey, I got your back. If your wife walks away because you lost your job, she has issues. Seriously, she has issues. How is she going to walk away because you got laid off? If you got fired, anytime you go to a job and you get fired because you're screwing up, that's a different story. Yes. Thank you, Mary. There you go. It is empowering. This is what we need to understand. We need to regain our power. Whenever we blame circumstances, whenever we blame people around whatever we're feeling, we're giving our power away. When we give our power away, we're confirming in our mind that there's nothing we can do. And there's always something we can do. So the first thing, if I feel anxiety and I still feel it sometimes, I deal with it. Hey, there's a part of me that feels anxious. I have valid reasons to feel anxiety. It's okay. Let's explore to see why the anxiety is there. Because look at this. Imagine, and I always give this example, okay? There's a lake and there's a big company that is dumping dirt, toxic waste into the lake. And you put a campaign together, you save money, you get investors to clean up that lake. So you come in and you clean all the lake, you take all the water out, you put it through a machine and it comes out clean, no toxic or anything, and it's all neat and clean again, right? That would be great. Oh, of course, awesome work. But now the company keeps dumping dirt into the lake. So in the next couple of weeks or months, depending on how much, the lake is going to be contaminated again. So if I don't really deal with the root cause, with a company dumping in toxic waste into the lake, I'm not going to solve the problem. A lot of people teach to just shut your mind up when it comes with negative stuff. If you feel anxiety, just shut it up. Just say, put a name to that part of you and say, I don't know, Tomasa, whatever, weird name to this part of me. Shut up. I don't want to listen. And they tend to shut it up. That doesn't really deal with the problem. I'm just numbing it. I'm covering it up. What I need to do is, okay, I'm feeling anxious. Why am I feeling anxiety? Why is this here? What am I really feeling underneath the anxiety? Okay, I'm feeling scared. Scared of what? Scared of being rejected, scared of being judged, scared of being, judged, criticized, rejected, I don't know, abandoned, left alone. So from there, the mind is going to try to protect you, maybe from not being your true self, because if you're your true self, and people start denying you, you're going to feel like crap. So you start shutting down and you stop being your true self. But the anxiety is still there. The negatives are still there. So you haven't solved the problem. You just kind of managed it. Instead, what I want to bring here, guys, is how to love yourself a little bit more each day. Whenever you feel anything negative, in this case, we're talking today about anxiety, love and embrace it. Okay. I love and embrace that part of me that is feeling anxiety. Try to understand it, explore in a loving way. Why am I feeling anxiety? Because I'm scared. Scared of what? As I go deeper into the mind with an open mind and an open heart, not judging or criticizing, just accepting what is, to be able to go deeper, to really understand the story behind the emotions. Remember, beliefs trigger emotions, emotions trigger actions, actions turn into habits, into behaviors. So I need to really go deep down into my subconscious mind. And this is how I do it over and over again with myself, with the people that I work with, right? How do I feel? Scared. I feel shame. I feel sad. I feel anger. What is it that you're feeling? Why are you feeling these different feelings? And again, if you don't open a loving environment for that part of you to express, seriously, it's not going to work. Imagine that you get back from work, you had an awful day, and when you arrive home and you're going to tell your partner, hey, you know what, I'm really angry, or I'm really scared, or I'm really sad, and your partner just walks away. Or she says, oh, come on, again? Why? Would you really feel comfortable sharing with your partner exactly what you're going through? Yes or no? Share in the chat. Would you feel really comfortable sharing your partner what is going on in your mind if she just receives you with, oh, come on, again? Stop complaining about work. Okay, yeah, okay. I'm sorry. No, tell me now. If they're like, yeah, tell me. Yeah, come on, tell me. You wouldn't, because you wouldn't feel loved accepted, supported, understood, safe to open up. And this is one of the big reasons so many people find it hard to access the subconscious mind, to access the mind, because they're coming with a, critical mind, judgmental mind, thinking, oh, I should change this. I should stop this nonsense. And now the mind just shuts down. Think exactly how a friend of yours, how your partner will react if you treat them that way. Would you treat them that way if they're feeling sad, if they don't know how to deal with whatever? And guys, we're not talking about dwelling. A lot of people think that, oh, if you just ask somebody to tell them what they're going through, they just dwell in the past. They just dwell with that and they never get out of this loop. Yes, they never get out of this loop because they don't know how to. I used to be there in this loop, not being able to get out of it, complaining all the time and not being able to get out of it. But as I started learning these tools, I started being able to support, accept that part of me that is feeling like this, listening, not being judgmental or critic to that part of me, and really opening up. As I did this, and it could be 5, 10 minutes, 20, half an hour, whatever the time I needed to invest, that part of me stopped dwelling, opened up to learning, and I was able to stop feeling the way that I was feeling, anxiety, stress, or whatever, bring those levels down, even get rid of it, and continue my life in a much better place, regaining my power, as Mary was saying. So the idea with this is, first of all, whenever I'm feeling anxiety, stop yourself, embrace it. Embrace the part of you that is feeling anxiety. I have an acronym rule that I use. Thank you, Pamela, very much for your comment. I have an acronym that I put together is STOP ABCDE. Stop ABCDE. So I'm going to share it here. Stop, think, think what's going on, observe, and practice. That's stop. Stop. ABCDE is A, airway. I'm writing it down, so give me 1 second. Airway, breathing, connect, detect, emotions. I put together this rule to help people deal with their anxiety, with their stress, or with whatever they're struggling. Stop, A, B, C, D, E. So stop, think, okay, I'm feeling this. Accept it, recognize it. I'm feeling anxiety. Yes. Observe and practice. A, airway, try to sit straight, maybe lay in bed, it's okay. And breathe in, take a couple of breaths. Breathe, oxygenate your blood, your mind. Try to open up to learning. Okay. B, airway, breathing. C, connect, detect, emotions. Okay, what am I feeling behind the anxiety? Oh, I'm feeling uneasy. I'm feeling scared. Okay, now I start exploring. Scared of what? Of losing my job. Why am I scared of losing my job? Why am I scared of asking for a raise? Why am I scared of this? Why am I not doing what I need to do? And then we fall into these: procrastination, overwhelm, loss of focus, being all over the place, spinning your wheels, whatever the mind does to try to prevent you from feeling all these negative emotions. Because look, I feel anxiety as I get closer to trying to ask for a raise. So if I move away from asking a raise, my anxiety goes away. Great, I dealt with it. Good for you. Did that solve the problem, guys? Yes or no? Walking away from asking a raise, it took away my anxiety. Is that the solution? Of course not. Because I'm going to be living a life stuck. Yes, I'm going to live my life stuck if I'm moving away. And many times we're moving away from challenges because we don't know how to deal with our emotions and where to go from there. So instead, we need to embrace these emotions, understand that we have valid reasons. The mind is not going to reveal why if that part of you is feeling that it's going to be judged and criticized. The same way it would happen if you go to talk with a friend and they judge you and criticize on the experience you're going through. Yes, a lot of people do that. Why? Because they don't know how to deal. And there's so many people out there teaching this crap about shutting down your negative emotions or your negative feelings, your negative thoughts. Get rid of them. They're not you. You know what? they're wrong. They are a part of you. I'm not going to go deeper with this. I'm going to talk much more on the challenge about that they are a part of you. Yes, they are a part of you. Remember, I was talking about this guy that got bitten by a dog. A part of him is scared of dogs, and it's okay. And it is a part of him. In his memories from his past, it was imprinted in his subconscious mind that German shepherds are dogs that can hurt him. So now he's scared. So there is a part of him. By trying to ignore that, shut that up, what that person is doing is disconnecting from themselves, disconnecting from their emotions, disconnecting from that part of them. So negative emotions and negative thoughts are a part of us that can be dealt correctly to play our game in a way. And I'm going to explain that much later in the event that I'm putting together. I'm going to talk more about that, using those parts of you to help you get closer to your goals. I'm not going to tell more about that right now, but it's important. So whenever you feel anxiety, stop A, B, C, D, E. Connect with the anxiety. Understand that there's a part of you that has valid reasons to feel anxiety, that there's nothing wrong with that part of you feeling anxiety. It's okay. Why is it feeling anxiety? Scared. Scared of what? Find that deep story that is in here, deep in the subconscious mind, that is creating that emotion. So I regain my power, guys. At the end of the day, is to regain my power. And I guarantee the anxiety is going to start lowering till it fades away. Some time ago, look at this. I'm going to give you an example about anxiety. I was working with a woman, right, that she had a panic attack. She had a panic attack. And when she came over to work with me, we started, a little bit understand what was going on. So the context of her panic attack, right? She was at work. She works at a real estate, right? For another guy. There's an owner, and she works for this guy. The guy being a male, and this is important, okay, for this story, different people, different stories. I want to give you some context on this woman, right? And she was dealing with a challenging situation. She was dealing with a contract. Instead of a purchase, it was a rent. And she hadn't done that before. It was the first time. She used to, take care of all the selling houses, but lately in our country, things are going a little bit complicated with real estate and selling. So she was taking care a little bit about renting. And she started getting nervous. She felt alone. The owner, her boss wasn't there. She started feeling that she couldn't breathe. She started feeling that she was dying, and she had a panic attack. Yes, guys. And it sounds so weird, like, oh, it sounds silly, right? She was just dealing with a situation. Wait. So as we started digging into the subconscious mind, accepting that it was okay that she had a panic attack, embrace the part of her that felt that, what came as we started digging deeper into her subconscious mind? A memory that when she was 6 years old, she went into the sea with her dad and siblings and brothers, and dad was holding her. A big wave hit them, and she was separated from dad, and she was underwater. She couldn't breathe. She felt she was about to die, and there was nobody there to protect her because dad had to let her go. At her job, she was feeling scared, right? She started feeling that there was nobody there to help her. Her boss, male figure, dad figure, wasn't there to protect her, to help her to this. So she started feeling that she had a hard time breathing, she couldn't breathe, and that she could die. She relived that past memory today. Does that make sense how the mind works a little bit more, guys? Yes or no in the chat, if that story makes sense. We relive our unresolved issues from our past. So we did some work together where I help her release the negative emotions, deal with the fear, deal with that unresolved issue from the past, be able to let it go so it wouldn't impact her today. We relive our past over and over again. All our unresolved issues are going to come to the surface, whether we like it or not. So a lot of people have become professionals in denying them, in sending them under the rug, in covering them up, in digging them deeper in the mind. That doesn't solve the problem, guys. I believe that every situation people and circumstances to come into our life that are challenging are just showing us our opportunities to go into our mind, understand what are we dealing with in here, not with other person. Oh, this person scammed me. This person took money away. This person disrespected me. And we give power away saying like this person, like they are the problem, not me. And we forget what's going on in here. We don't even dig to understand what's going on in here. So if we really want to be able to live a free life, free of circumstances of people out there, we need to deal with unresolved issues, because if not, we're going to keep giving away our power to others, thinking that others, circumstances or people, have power over us. And it's not. So next time you feel anxiety, next time you feel stress, next time you feel whatever, you got valid reasons to feel like you feel. Try to really own it. It's okay that you're feeling like you're feeling. There is something behind that that you might not be aware of. And now start diving deeper. How do I feel? Why do I feel this? And how does this make me feel about myself? The stop ABCD with those 3 questions, a combination of those 2 things is going to allow you to start practicing this exercise. But you need to understand that you're not playing in the big leagues. You're starting, right, in a backyard practicing a new sport. It's going to take time and a lot of practice to be able to get past, I call it the gatekeeper, the part of you that's trying to protect you from getting into the mind. If there's some judgment, criticism, as you try to explore the mind, seriously, it ain't going to happen, guys. This is what I see a lot of people stuck, not being able to explore and find that deep story. I have people that, I've been working with them for some time, maybe a couple of months. They come back one session, they're telling me, I did these exercises that you told me, and I wasn't able to get any response to that. Okay, let's try it together. So, start going deeper. And I start throwing things in, and they say, oh, I feel anxious. Okay. Remember, you got valid reasons to feel anxiety. There's always a reason behind it. And I start bringing a loving and accepting environment to the session, so they don't feel challenged. They don't feel judged or criticized by me, and they're more willing to open up. The idea is for you to create that environment for yourself. If you don't create it, the mind is not going to open up. It's amazing. I know it sounds weird. If you want to know more about this, sign up for the challenge. If you want to know more, if you haven't signed up yet, #challenge right down here in the chat if you want to share more information. It's going to be an amazing event where we're going to share the best of my work. I'm not going to hold back. You're even going to see me, doing some laser coaching to some people, so you can see this in practice. You're going to see how the mind works, how everything that's happening today is a repetition of something that happened in our past with different characters, with different people, different circumstances. But as I said, this woman that was dealing with a real estate, rent, she got into a panic attack because her mind felt uneasy, didn't feel safe in the environment she was in. And suddenly it triggered all this fear. The man that could help her wasn't there, her boss, because she told me, when my boss is here, I feel much more calm. There you go. She's giving the power away. So as we dealt with that past experience, she now feels much more empowered. Does it mean that she might not have a panic attack again? No, I'm not saying that. But now she has better tools in her toolbox to deal with that situation so that it doesn't get to a panic attack. If she disconnects, if she denies, if she fights the panic, the anxiety, the stress, the fear, whatever, the panic attack is going to stay longer, or it's not going to, it's going to kick in. But if she deals with the fear, there's more chances that she's not going to fall into the panic attack. So I hope that makes sense. Pamela just saw that. I'll share the link in a little bit. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. I hope this makes sense. I hope this helped you. Let me know in a chat with a 10 if this made sense, if this helped you understand a bit more about the mind and how to start dealing with whatever negative emotions, negative feelings we're struggling with. So let me know. Thank you very much, guys. And I'll see you around. Remember, this next weekend is the big event. It's going to be several hours. Try to reserve as much as you can, because at least we're going to go for 3 hours. And I think it's going to be even longer. I'm going to give so much for you guys to help you. There's so much people out there struggling with their mind, with their emotions, with procrastination, with overwhelm, with anxiety, overthinking, perfection, whatever it is that you're struggling with. This seminar, this workshop that I'm doing, is this challenge that I'm doing is going to be amazing. So sign up, don't miss this opportunity. It's free. So you got nothing to lose and a lot to gain from this. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoy this. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time, guys. Take care. Bye.